Introduction. Widowhood sometimes feels like the job no one applies to. I am yet to meet anyone who has done this. This is what it means to be a widow. You wake up one day and your life has changed. It doesn't matter how your spouse died. You and the other women, you will be in the same category, widows. The husband might have died after a long or short illness, suicides, car accidents, plane crashes, or heart attacks. It doesn't matter how it happened. It also does not matter whether your spouse was rich or poor. Sometimes people can call you a rich widow if your husband died and left you lots of money. This was a term used in my country, Zimbabwe, for widows who happen to inherit somewhat large benefits from their husbands. The fact remains, you have become a widow, and nothing will ever change that fact. Going through widowhood or divorce can be a devastating life stage that will change the trajectory of your life after your marriage. No one is prepared for either widowhood or divorce when you say, "I do." You marry for love, forever, and for a lifetime. Sometimes that lifetime is cut short sooner than you expected. No one has a manual to life. Neither are we given the manual for widowhood or divorce. It is painful that people expect you to know how to behave or act like a widow. This book, while avoiding assumptions, is an attempt to guide you through life after widowhood or divorce. It will take you through some of the stages from the time you lose your spouse to the funeral or separation, to the grieving process, and even cover some of the dumbest things people will say to widows. It will also take you through the healing process. It shows you how self-love and transformation follow rediscovering who you are. The widow's journey is full of nasty surprises and mind-boggling life experiences. Reinventing yourself through this book will prepare you to get your groove back and start a new life in the normal world from widowhood. When you got married, you went for premarital counseling to prepare for marriage. When you suddenly find yourself a widow or divorcee, it's a new and different ballgame. The widow must look for information to help herself through this phase. The pastor and family will scratch on the surface. There will be a lot of unanswered questions that will pop up in the life of a widow. You will ask yourself questions like, why does death happen to some marriages and yet some others have 60 years of married life? You would wish anyone could give an answer to this, but delolo, nothing. When I got married, I remember saying to my husband, "Till death do us part," and him saying those same words back to me. I had no idea that those same words were going to haunt me 12 years later. I have lived and walked this path that you are on. The paths we take might be different, but we still belong in the same pool, widows. I have lived with people whispering about me or people pointing at me in public places, stores, buses, train stations, hair salons, you name it. It was a hard and traumatic experience. It was like a nightmare. I hoped I would wake up one day and be told it was just a dream. But it was a real life experience. It was like I had smeared a people repellent cream to chase people away from me. Some people will say some nasty things to you, like, "You're faking the grieving process." Just walk away. Trying to explain the pain you're going through to the onlookers is a waste of your time. Save that energy to heal. Let me tell you that life does not have to remain this way. Gloomy, miserable, frustrating, and lonely. This journey has made me the strong woman I am today. I believe strongly I will be able to help a lot of women who are walking in the widowhood walk. After reading this book, you'll see that it's possible to come out as an even better person than you were before. You cannot be a victim and heal. Picture quotes.com. My late husband Temba left me 3 beautiful children, 2 girls and 1 boy. At the time of his death, my eldest daughter Rue was only 12 years old. My son Ronnie was 9 years, and my youngest daughter Ropa was only 5 years old. Ropa barely remembers her dad. It breaks my heart every time she tries to learn more about her dad. The widowhood journey's tough and challenging. You can survive it, but it requires some work on your part as the widow. This book is written to inspire other women who might be going through what another widow went through so that they can learn from that experience. I hope that you know that you are not alone in this journey through this book. I came out stronger, so can you. You are not your problem. Life does not happen to you, but you as the individual happens to life. This book will show you how I lived the life of a widow, how I have dealt with having people point at me in the mall or grocery stores. There were those stares from people that either sought to shame me or felt sorry for me. Sometimes it's the poor her look. Other times it's, well, she married the guy who is no more. So what? Look. If you are a widow, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's normal to get those weird looks. You feel empty and feel like you are floating in the air because whatever was grounding you has been taken away from you. Just remember, even if your husband's gone, there's another safety net that will always be there to catch you when you fall. That is the God Almighty, whose love for you is unconditional. That is what kept me going to this day. When you're going through the pain, frustrations of the big void in your life, ask yourself, how long do I have to go through this? You learn to live with that pain. Help is out there, but it requires you to do most of the work. You are the only person who has the power to change your circumstances, and the power lies within you. You are the captain of your ship, and you can steer it whichever direction you want. I steered mine toward success, and I did not let the struggles and challenges hold me back anymore. Don't let the past determine your future and the future of your children. This book will teach you about the different stages of widowhood. You're likely to experience these 3 stages, namely grief, growth, and finally transformation. During the grieving stage, you are numb, and it's a vulnerable time for you. This is the time you need to be heard and understood, which usually never happens. The growth stage is a critical part of your journey through widowhood. Now you start to take care of your business, your housing situation, finances, and general planning for your life. The whole business with the estate for your husband should all be done by now. The last stage is the transformational stage. This is when you do advanced planning for the new life to evolve. You are starting a new life and getting your independence from the bondage of widowhood or divorce. You might ask me why this is. It's because you are going through the same grieving stages of a relationship that is no more. You are no longer married, neither are you a couple with the person who was once the love of your life. Of course, you are grieving that happy union that has come to an end sooner than your death or your lifetime. You are about to discover that when trauma of any kind hits you, you must go through a healing journey so that you do not bleed on everyone around you. Trauma is defined as a psychological, emotional response to any event or an experience that is deeply distressing or disturbing. The Center for Anxiety also refers to something upsetting, such as being involved in an accident, having an illness or injury, losing a loved one, or going through a divorce. This book will help you to move on with your life without hurting the innocent people around you. This could include your children, family, friends, and your future spouse if you decide to find love again. The steps in this book will teach you the stuff that no one has ever been prepared to expect after saying I do. Remember that healing is a continuous process. It's very important that I stress this to you. You can skip a meal in real life and survive, but if you skip a stage in the healing process, it will be detrimental in the very near future. This book is a healing manual from the time trauma hits until you find love again. Some people can serve as distractions, or they might be the very same people that hurt you in the first place during the grieving and divorce processes. When you are ready to take healing seriously, you must put on some dark sunglasses so that you can block some people and some things from your life. You do not need anyone's approval except your own to go on this healing journey. Don't be swayed by the "what will people say" syndrome. It has kept a lot of widows and divorcees living in the painful, dark side of life. Holding on to that pain will only make you a prisoner. This book will prepare you to get your groove back, and if you want to find love again, this is the best book for you. It will take you through a step-by-step process on how to prepare yourself for the ever-changing dating world and prepare you to get the love that you still deserve. The healing section is also useful to anyone who has experienced any loss in their life, a relationship breakdown, divorce, or even being dumped by a guy. Go on the healing journey, find your purpose, and learn to love yourself so that you can love and be loved again. This will involve you going on a physical, emotional, and psychological detox. What are you waiting for? Be grateful that at least someone loved you enough to take you to the altar and you said "I do" to each other. You will appreciate the process, as it will make you a stronger person than you were before. The naysayers will always be there to try and pull you down. This book will give you the wisdom and courage you need to move on with your life. Turning a new chapter in your life doesn't mean you don't validate that your spouse is gone. You are celebrating the time that you had together with him, and now it's time to move ahead with your own life. Remember that he will always hold a special place in your heart, no matter what. This is my gift to you, so you can go